Okay, people. So when you agree to look at everything, you gotta look at everything. And so I have just checked out Fool's Paradise. This is the directorial debut from Charlie Day, right? Charlie Day, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame, you know what I mean? Which is, I love that, is a great fucking show. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. I enjoy the fuck out of it. So yeah, I was curious to then see what this would be, you know? The film is produced by Tim Zagaros, Alec Sachs, John Rickard. It's co-produced by Rebecca Edwards, Max Jacoby, Jeff Looney, and Christopher Macken. It's executive produced by Rick Dugdale, Dan Feldman, Kirk Michael Fellows, Manu Gargi, Rob Goff, assist, assistant associate produced, Jesus Christ, Sean Palsgard, line produced by Rob Shapiro. So John Brion handled the music, Nico Aguilar cinematography, Leslie Jones and Tim Roche edit the piece, Nicole Abeleria and Janine McCarthy were on casting duties, Rob Wilson King production design, Mark Silbert art direction. Set decoration is Laurie Martell and Linda Spafaris. Costume design is Raquel Gremler and Liz Wolf. So our cast, and there are a lot of people in this. Charlie Day plays Latte Pronto. Lenny, his publicist, is played by Ken Jeong. Christina Dior is played by Kate Beckinsale. Chad Lux is Adrian Brody. Lex Tanner is played by Jason Sudeikis. Ray Liotta plays the producer. Steve Coulter is Tony London. The SPFX tech is played by Jason Bateman. Edie Falco is the agent. Right, Mary Elizabeth Ellis is Makeup Woman 1. Makeup Woman 2 is played by Artemis Pebdani. All right. Who else do we have? Lance Barber is the sidekick. Jimmy Simpson is the talk show host. Right. Script supervisor is Leona Pitts. The male hairdresser is Drew Drogue. Jade is played by Lindsay Muesley. Maria is Alexa Maldona. The intern is played by Shane Paul McGuy. Studio head is Dean Norris. Studio exec is Scott Allen Perry. Business manager is Glenn Howerton. Right. I mean, there are, so many people in this film. Austin Ziegler, Ricky Wang, Andrew Leeds. Who else do we have? Alison Page, Julia Chow, Andrew Highland, Scott Pitts, Common, Gillian Bell, Benito Martinez, Catherine McManara, Brett Wagner, John Malkovich, Tom O'Riordan, Tom Beer, Alana Ubach, David Hornsby, Effie Shafir, right? Lisa Swart, Helen Geller, Rommel da Silva, Jeremy Chow, Leandra Tazero. I mean, it's so many people up in this ping, man. So the gist of the film is this. It's a satirical comedy following a down on his luck publicist who gets his lucky break when he discovers a man recently released from a mental health facility. Looks just like a method actor who refuses to leave his trailer. With the help of a powerful producer, the publicist helps the man become a huge star, even marrying his beautiful leading lady. Their adventures lead them to cross paths with drunken co-stars, irrelevant, unhoused action heroes, unpredictable directors, a super agent, and power mad moguls. Fame and fortune are not all not all they are cracked up to be, and the two men must fight their way back to the things that matter the most. So that's what the gist of the film is, right? That's what you feel they want the film to be, right? So Charlie Day had this to say. I knew when the time came for me to direct my first film, I would make it in the style and tone of what I've done with Fool's Paradise. My initial inspiration was simple. I love movies like Being There. I felt as though they were never going to be made again, and I wouldn't be given a chance to perform in a movie like that. So I had to make one. Fool's Paradise borrows a bit from an older style of movie like Airplane or Being There. Writing in that style and tone and then directing and acting in it made complete sense. I started out trying to make a biting satire about fame, fortune, and celebrity, as it seems to be our highest form of American currency. I would I wound up ditching that for a story more centrally focused on how having a meaningful connection with another human being is life's most valuable currency. Everyone knows that people in Hollywood are full of BS and audience love to laugh at it. So, from the synopsis and that, you get a sense of what Day is wanting to do. And I think with this film, you get the sense of, because I don't know Being There, but this was like Lauren Hardy, right? Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton. It was in that vein of things. Look at stuff like Arthur, right? It's that style of film. Mr. Bean, Rabsy Nesbitt. There's so many different things that have been done. We can look at Alan Partridge and Blackadder, right? But I think with those, especially with things like Alan Partridge, Blackadder, Arthur, you can see the message they're telling, right? Looking at how preposterous things are, the hypocrisy of everything. We don't, for me anyway, that's not what really came across, right? Because the thing about human connection and it is referenced in the film at the very beginning when Day's character is kind of thrown out of hospital because of funding. Right, the doctor's like, oh, with the right human connection, the therapy, we could get him back, but we're not paying for that, so throw him on a bus. Right, and at the end it's mentioned as well, but the human connection doesn't really, it's all very surface level. Right, and you know that, right, the story is meant to be him and the publicist and how they forged this connection, and the publicist is working to, bring him up, right? But everything that happens to him is happen chance, right? It's not the publicist doing anything, and like the publicist lies, and it's not like they've got a real connection. So the ending was a bit like, it didn't really make any sense to me, because like all the other connections, it just seemed fleeting, right? It didn't seem like it was solid enough to do any. It's like there's a bit where Day doesn't speak throughout, essentially. And there's a bit where the publicist is like, oh, just tell me what you fit. And it's just like, wait, you've been around him all this time. You know he doesn't speak. So why would you even say like that? Also kind of shows there's no connection between them. Like, what are you talking about? This great human connection? It's not there. Like the the idea was, he said he wanted to make at first he was going to make a satire. But the satire thing is still kind of there, but it's just not punchy, right? Like there's a bit of party and people are, you can assume it's cocaine. And his character does some, but like, then what? Right? There's not this big thing about, oh, yes, cocaine, it drives the industry, it fucks people up, it keeps people, enslaved to, right? It's not that. So, like, okay. Then he does a terrible movie, and are we meant to be looking at how fleeting success is, or but it's like, what is the message here? What are we saying? Even at the start, the whole method actor thing, it's just not compelling enough, right? Because the character is over the top. So you're just like, well, I mean, is it effort? Is it method acting, or is he just an ass? Right? There's all of this. No one is questioning the fact that he's not talking. Right? That's the other thing. So it's just like people going, oh yeah, no, I like the fact what you're doing. Right? You're not talking. Yeah, that's impactful. That's this. But it's just like, if you're gonna reference it, you have to properly reference it. Otherwise, ignore it. Right? Because it's never referenced in Mr. Bean or Rabsy Nesbitt. So just ignore it. Right? And tell the story that way. I don't know. Like sometimes you watch something and you think, have I missed this thing? Right? Have I missed the big point? Right? Are you sitting in a room and everyone else is like, oh my God, that's incredible. And you're like, wait, what did I miss? I think I blinked at one point. Was that the pivotal point? What did I miss here? And I do not know. I'm baffled. I am so baffled by this. Yeah, like there is, so many so many cameos that you're just like, why? Because none of the characters really have a lot to do. So it just feels very wasted. And the characters don't really have any depth. So again, it just feels very wasted. We just get a lot of, caricatures that are fleeting, and then it's done. And you're just like, wait, what's that character meant to be saying? What's that character meant to be doing? Oh, isn't that thingy? Oh, look, wait. Oh, they're in it? What do they do? Oh, okay. It's just that. I'm like, have less celebrity buddies and have deeper roles. That's what I feel would have probably been more beneficial, you know? Like, there is some good acting here. Like, I thought, Adrian Brody does a very good job. And Kate Beckinsale character isn't bad, but it's a weird character, right? Because you can look at, when you see people in Hollywood sometimes and, couples get together and it's just like, that seems very convenient, right? Do these people like each other? Or is it just like, oh, let's put this star with this star? You know what I mean? And then they break up after a few months and it's just like, were they really a couple or was that? Because when you see them together, they don't really look like they like each other. So it looks like they're doing that, but it's all just like boom, 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 boom. So it's just like, it doesn't give you a chance to really give a damn. And that is the thing, a lot of the elements, they're so quick that you just don't have a chance to give a damn, which is a goddamn shame. It is a shame because, I mean, the writing on Always Sunny is great, right? And then you look at other things like Mythic Quest, which I thought more good writing. And they do make some points in that about, there's a little social commentary. Not so much social commentary, but looking at certain topics and things, right? And it works. But yeah, this Fool's Paradise, it doesn't really work for me. Right. And just the name, Fool's Paradise. Like, if they're saying something with it, because in the film, it's just like, is this a paradise for Pronto Latte? Latte Pronto? Like, just that name, it's just like, it makes no sense. Right? It's something the director says, but you're like, why would you then give it to the, huh? So I'm just like, but Fool's Paradise, because it was originally meant to be called El Tonto, which is just like, I don't even know what that means, right? So it looks like there were loads of ideas. There was an idea to do something cool, but it just doesn't quite come together. But I will say, if you loved stuff like Get Him to the Greek or the Russell Brand Arthur remake, right? I think this might work for you, right? If that's the vein of humor that you enjoy, I think Fool's Paradise might very well work. So yeah, there you go, people. That's all I can do for you. That's all I can do. So hope that helps.